Time now for Pro Football Fast Break, the show that brings you unfiltered, unapologetic, opinionated, pure pro football talk. Now let's go to the guys with this week's show.
Yeah.
So as we get started, it's podcast 99 and it's Super Wild Card Weekend. How about that?
Super Wild Card Weekend.
So it should be a spirited conversation today, preparing for the playoffs. There is a ton of news. So why don't we send it to Jacob and hit the news?
Just now, the Ravens agree in principle with linebacker Roquan Smith to now be the highest paid at his position in NFL history.
Really?
5-year, $100 million deal, $45 million guaranteed.
Wow.
First off-ball linebacker to get $20 million per year.
Damn.
Just happened like 2 minutes ago.
Hot off the press, man.
Oh, Cliff Kingsbury got fired.
What about that? That's a shocker.
Cardinals head coach.
I mean, they just signed him to a long term.
He does have a negative record, though, in the 4 years he's been there.
Yeah.
They're like 20-something and 30-something, and they literally went like 9-0 last year at one point.
What kind of business are they doing where they sign him to a long-term contract and then fire him?
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, no, the Cardinals are just a bad organization. Clearly. The Steelers were 8-2 and allowed 16 points per game with TJ Watt on the field in 2022. 8-2, allowed 16 points per game. When Watt wasn't on the field, we were 1-6 without him.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. Yeah, because at one point we kept saying, like, there's no way that one player makes a difference, but how can you deny it?
With Watt on the field, we were 8-2. We allowed 16 points per game. We allowed 289 total yards per game. We had 32 sacks and 18 takeaways.
Jesus.
Without him, we were 1-6. We allowed 25 points per game. We allowed 389 total yards per game, 8 sacks, 5 takeaways.
So
we only played 3 more games with Watt.
There can't be a player that makes that much of an impact other than a quarterback.
No.
Anywhere.
There isn't. There literally isn't.
That's wild.
He makes more impact than like at least 5 of the starting quarterbacks too, not more. Brock Purdy, since becoming a starter in Week 14, is first in passer rating, first in passing touchdowns, first in passing touchdown per attempt, first in pass yards per attempt, and first in wins because he's 5-0.
Purdy's the truth.
This is just crazy.
Brock Purdy hasn't lost a game, and he's first in all the stats. There's been 3 quarterbacks in NFL history to go 5-0 with their first 5 games. It's Ben Roethlisberger, some guy on the Steelers in the 70s that wasn't Bradshaw.
Really?
Some guy I'd never heard of, and then Brock Purdy.
That's a good sign for Purdy. Look at that start.
The most stacked team in the league, too, but still.
Yeah.
He looks way better than Jimmy G. He looks better than Trey Lance.
Man, you love those stories.
Ridiculous.
What's cool about that is that was in the last draft. Kenny Pickett and Purdy are the best in the draft.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they are.
The first pick and the last
pick. By far. No one else even could. Yeah. The rest of the quarterbacks are horrible.
A first rounder and a last guy in the draft.
Yeah, and the last pick of the entire draft. But yeah, the Steelers started the season 2-6, finished 7-2.
Huge progress. Disappointing. We know why.
Yeah.
Most interceptions in the league, 20.
Our defense has the most interceptions in the league. And the Steelers have the 32nd pick in the draft now and the 17th because of the Claypool trade. Which, by the way, the Bears have not won a single game with since they traded for Claypool. They're 0-8 since they traded for Claypool. And we are 6-2 since we got rid of him.
You know, when that trade happened, we were like, they are insane to give us a number 1 pick.
We did not give a shit. We just thought they were stupid. It was a second rounder, but because of what happened, it became a first rounder.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
If you remember, it was just a second round.
Yeah, I remember it was second round.
It just became a first rounder. So it was like their second rounder turned into a first rounder.
I mean, that's incredible.
They kept losing games.
That's the deal of the century.
Yeah, I mean, I would have given him Deontay for that pick.
Yeah, that's what I said. I would have gladly traded Deontay for a first round.
100%. Yeah, not even a question. Like you could
just because I don't want him on the fucking team at all. Well, statistically, Deontay is like top 15, but
he doesn't score.
But still, fuck him. He didn't score a single touchdown this year.
He doesn't. He's not there for the critical catches. That's it. Yep.
He might be good. He might be a good receiver, but he can't score and he drops big catches. So it's like you can't do. There's not much you can do for him if he's going to keep doing that.
Oh yeah, Rodgers. Once again, we're back to this shit. Rodgers, he doesn't know if he's coming back next year.
Oh my God.
So we don't need to go too much into that.
We can't even report on it anymore.
The entire offseason, we're not going to know. So
yeah.
Did you watch what he said?
Coming back or not?
Did you watch his
Yeah, I did.
It's just like rambling on
Yeah.
Well,
is this the third off season in a row or the second?
He does. Yeah, he just literally doesn't know. This is like the third year in a row.
I think it's the third off.
The past 2 years, it was he wants to leave the Packers. It wasn't even about him retiring. Now it's just about, is he going to retire?
How many $1 million he'd be giving up? And they said, "Are you willing to give that?" He said, "Yeah, yep."
That's crazy.
I forget the amount. It's huge. It
is a shit ton of money.
I would just take the money.
That's what I said. He could just play like shit, and not care, and rob the Packers.
Yeah, what's he? Like, what's the point?
He'll probably come back, honestly.
It's not like he's getting hit. Rodgers doesn't really get hit at all.
I bet you $10 he comes back.
Yeah.
I think Rodgers will be the Packers quarterback next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the trend here.
Yeah.
If we do the math, that's what happens every single time.
But he is 39, so he's actually getting old.
He is.
Yeah. That's retirement age for most guys.
Texans wide receiver Brandon Cooks has reiterated his desire to be traded this offseason 4 hours ago.
Makes sense. Why would you ever want to be a decent player and play for the Texans?
Oh, God.
Damar Hamlin has been released from the hospital and has returned to Buffalo. The Broncos, so they fired Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
And they put in requests to interview D'Amico Ryans, Dan Quinn, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, and Raheem Morris.
Sean Payton's the cool one.
I would say I would have to go with Sean Payton.
Oh,
yeah.
You can get him.
That's a good lineup, though.
If you get a good coach, then that team could be good because they have good players.
You would think.
I mean, you think a coach too would be so willing to at least try to see what they can do with Russell Wilson.
You got to try one more year because you have to anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lovie Smith has been fired. I think we all could have predicted that to happen by the time the season ended.
Yeah.
By the way, the Bengals-Bills game that happened on Monday night that got canceled because of an injury, and then it never got resumed, and it's called a no contest.
I saw something about that today.
Just for the first time in NFL history, an injury canceled the game, and then we never resumed the game and came up with a new way to determine the playoff seeding because of it.
The weirdest part is they were going to play it. They told ESPN they were going to play it. They had Burrow was warming up. They had all the players. Stephon Diggs was hyping up the Bills players on the sideline. They told the ESPN they were going to play it in 5 minutes, and then they just canceled it when that 5 minutes happened.
The NFL's power rankings, the Steelers that came out today. The Steelers are above Tampa, Miami.
What?
Baltimore. All these teams that are currently in the fucking playoffs. It's like,
that's crazy.
So stupid.
Do you have your
Tampa,
own?
Baltimore, Miami, and Seattle? We're above them in the power rankings. I have my own. The NFL has us at 13 above 4 playoff teams. I have us at 9.
You want to hit them now? Okay, let's jump right in then to the power rankings. The PFB power rankings, that is.
So at 1, I got the Bills.
Makes sense.
Bills
2,
are back.
Kickoff returns for touchdowns in the last game. Stephon Diggs had 2 touchdowns. 2, I got the 49ers with Brock Purdy.
Thought you'd say Kansas City. Okay.
They're clearly the best team. Yeah.
I like it.
I would have, but 49ers are just way better in every way besides the most important position.
Yeah, but it's working.
Yeah. Yeah. But you never know.
Right.
And 3, I got the Chiefs.
Okay.
4, I got the Bengals. 5, Eagles. 6, Chargers. 7, Vikings. 8, Cowboys. 9, Steelers.
Wow.
And 10, Buccaneers, because they're in the playoffs and Brady's gone off the past game or 2.
Yeah.
If you want to hear the rest of it.
Sure.
At 11, I got the Lions.
Wow.
12, Seattle, who's in the playoffs. 13, the Giants, who are in the playoffs. 14, Miami, who's in the playoffs. 15, Baltimore, who's in the playoffs. 16, the Jaguars, who are in the playoffs. But the Lions and Steelers are better than those teams, if you ask me.
You're right. Lions and Steelers.
Yeah.
And they're both
I
up
think
and
the
coming.
Lions and Steelers are clearly better teams. And yeah, like next year, I don't see how. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Here's what the NFL said about the Steelers. It is a long paragraph, but the one thing I liked was Pittsburgh has the look of a team that could be ready to seriously contend as soon as next year.
I think that's accurate. I mean,
So
defense, running game, now quarterback. Offensive line.
defense, best in the league by far. O-line getting better. And we
Getting
have 2
better.
first rounders and 2 second rounders, and we don't need to draft anything but O-line.
It's crazy to say, but I almost want to see us somehow get like a receiver that like is now contests like Deontay, so then like Pickens and that guy are even better, and like just to get Deontay out of the picture a little bit. That would be like ideal for our offense, I feel like, and obviously O-line, but those changes would make.
But I mean, we're paying Deontay.
Yeah, it makes sense to keep him. I'm just
paying
saying,
Deontay too much money for him not to be a top 2 receiver.
Yeah, it makes
our
sense.
team.
And it won't be those top picks, but
I wish he wasn't, but
we got to get a quarterback.
yeah.
It could be a veteran. It just needs to be someone capable.
Well, I mean, you say that, and it's kind of true, but also Mitch and Mason are better than
Mitch
some
is the best
quarterbacks that have
possible-
literally started the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Mitch
guess
is probably the
that's
best.
true.
possible
The
backup,
Falcons had in
actually.
Desmond Ritter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Giants had in David Blau or whatever. Like, there's a lot of pieces. Joe Flacco started for the Jets last week. They
You're
put up
right.
6
Think
points
about-
total.
What's his face on the Skyler
Like,
guy?
it's
on the
actually
Dolphins?
shittier quarterbacks than Mason and
Yeah.
Skyler, the Colts, Matt Ryan, Nick Foles.
I guess our
Like, that's
standards.
the Colts quarterback.
Yeah.
What's him? Yeah, the Cardinals
had like
Kyler.
Colt McCoy in
Trace
for, like,
McSorley.
multiple games. Yeah, Trace McSorley.
Yeah,
Colt McCoy,
he
like,
was their best
70.
option, but he got hurt.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy was their best quarterback
Yeah.
option, but he got injured.
Used
So
to have.
confusing though, because like they do suck and you don't want to see him on the field, but like also aren't Mitch and Mason better than like Landry Jones and Bruce Gradkowski and those dudes? Or maybe not.
Probably.
I don't know.
How much better can you get it back up than Mitch Trubisky?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I don't want Mitch on the team, but our backup is probably going to be worse than him.
I would think it would have to
It's
be.
possible.
Because we
yeah.
would have to get, you would have to get like, because Mitch is a top 40 quarterback in the NFL, so
I think we just had expectations.
like he's
he
like
could-
40.
we thought he could win, but he can't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's not good enough to be a starter, and he also blew a game on his own.
Okay, now your bottom 5.
Bears, Colts, Falcons, Texans, Cardinals.
Yeah. What a bad group that is. Yikes.
Yeah, and then Broncos somehow made it out of the bottom 5 because of how shit the Colts are.
Somebody said, like, would the Bears be a good job? I don't think that is a good team for a coach.
No,
What do you got?
no,
Justin Fields?
nothing. Yeah, and he's not that good.
No.
He's a Walmart Lamar. If I was coaching, if I had to go to one of those teams, not the Falcons, that's for sure, not the Texans, that's for sure, not the Colts. If you just got a okay quarterback, they'd be okay.
Right.
I would probably go to the Colts and just draft a quarterback.
It's true.
It's
They're-
not that hard.
No, get a quarterback.
Draft a quarterback, or they have Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman on, and their O-line was good a year ago. Somehow it's terrible now with all the same players. Thinking that's probably just because you have Nick Foles and Matt Ryan at quarterback.
Probably. All right, should we look at Super Wildcard Weekend?
Yeah.
So here are the games. Seahawks, 49ers. Dun, dun,
Niners, easy.
Easy. Not much to say there.
They are
other
in the
than-
same division, though, so it'll be closer than. But yeah, no, Niners will beat them.
What I think is interesting there is just how well the Seahawks have done. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's
In
just
the
crazy that
playoffs.
Geno Smith. Geno Smith had a better passing season statistically than Russell Wilson's ever had for Seattle.
Yeah, I saw something
which makes
about
no sense.
No.
He had more touchdowns or something. I think
More
he had more
completions
touchdowns in 1 year than Russell Wilson's ever had, or more yards. One of those type of stats.
Maybe that's coach of the year there. Incredible coaching job.
Yeah.
I mean,
considering everyone thought they would be horrible.
And they're in the
like
playoffs.
Bottom 2.
Yeah.
And now they're in the playoffs. Yeah.
All right.
Mike Tomlin should be coach of the year, but he probably won't get it because we got.
I was thinking Tomlin, except no playoffs. But he did have a winning record. How about the Chargers Jags?
Yeah, I got the Chargers on that one. For sure.
Chargers are just disappointing every year.
Well, they're just a way better team. But they could easily lose, but
if they lose that, something wrong.
If they lose that, they got to fire their head coach.
Yeah. How about this one? This will be real exciting. Dolphins Bills. Can the Dolphins
Bills
hold up at all?
Won't be close.
Won't be close.
No.
I mean,
I don't even care if Tua is on the field.
Giants Vikings. It's a game.
Vikings. That game will probably be close just because the Vikings defense isn't even good. So like they'll just get shredded probably.
Sure seems like just a lot
Vikings
of favorites.
could lose that game, honestly.
They could. Ravens
they could, but I would never take the Giants to win.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is a lot of favorites. The Ravens aren't going to win.
Yeah, Ravens.
I don't care if Lamar's on the field.
So Ravens Bengals. No chance.
The Ravens are below the Steelers in the power rankings. So
I know. Bengals will just clean their clocks. I mean, it won't be close.
Yeah,
it won't be close.
We beat them last week.
This is the game of the weekend. Cowboys Buccaneers.
This one, yeah.
That's the game.
And I got Tampa.
Really?
Which is crazy. I think Tampa's winning. Yeah.
Over the Cowboys.
So I have to take.
They're not as good.
Tampa +3. They can lose by 3 or win. The Cowboys don't have like their second string or third string corner. And Dak has been playing like shit. Dak's been he's not been playing like shit, but he keeps throwing picks. And they lost. They had all their starters in and lost. They had 7 points against Washington. Or 6 points last week.
So the teams with the buys are Kansas City,
Eagles and
Chiefs. So the Eagles and Chiefs. So remember that. The question is, can anyone beat the Eagles? The answer is maybe the 49ers.
Yeah. The Niners, I bet Brady could in the NFC Championship. This is what I think is going to happen. If you want to know my whole prediction for the playoffs. Yeah, so I think Bills will beat Miami. Bengals will beat Ravens. Chargers will beat Jags. Then the Chargers will go and play the Chiefs and lose. The Bills will play the Bengals and win. So it'll be Chiefs-Bills AFC Championship. And then in the NFC, Niners are going to beat the Seahawks. The Vikings are going to beat the Giants. Tampa is going to beat Dallas. Then Tampa goes and plays the Eagles, their first game back in the divisional round. And they're going to win that.
Oh, really?
So it's going to be Tampa in the NFC Championship. And then the Niners will play the Vikings and beat them.
So it's Niners.
So it'll be
Tampa.
Niners, Tampa.
Who wins?
Yeah, and then Bills, Chiefs. And I would say Bills, the Super Bowl is Bills versus Niners. But at that point, if Brady gets there, is Brady going to lose the NFC Championship against Brock Purdy? And if he does, Brock Purdy's the new GOAT.
I know.
Because if Brock Purdy gets to that point, he will be like 10-0. He will have never lost a game, be in the Super Bowl, be a rookie, and have like the best stats and beat Brady.
That's what makes this interesting. I mean, that's what makes a wild card so good in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I also almost, don't you think this could happen? Chargers beat the Jags, then they play Kansas City, same division. They actually have a more talented roster. What if they beat Kansas City?
So the Chargers finally.
The Chargers could beat Kansas City.
Well, the Chargers all these
they would
years.
Get to the AFC Championship.
They've always.
Yeah, they always do this shit.
They should be there.
They're always good.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams.
There was a thing from when they had Phillip Rivers. They were the best, statistically, the best team of all time, and they didn't even make the playoffs. Their stats were number 1 in the league on. Yeah, no, this is what it was. They had the number 1 offense and defense, and they didn't make the playoffs.
They just have a weird problem.
A few years back.
Yeah.
They just can't they always have the talent, but they can't do anything.
That's a good transition into, guess what? That's right, Jacob's Lock of the Week. Got a good lock?
Yep.
Okay.
I like a few bets.
All right.
I think the Chargers will beat the Jags. So I think Jags or Chargers minus 105 is a lock.
Yeah, how could they lose to the Jags?
Beat the Jags.
That seems impossible to lose.
I know. And the Jags played complete shit that entire Titans game and shouldn't have even won.
Right.
Then then the Titans fumbled. Remember the Jags had 2 touchdowns off 2 fumbles, didn't they?
Yeah.
The Titans, they barely won.
Yeah, I mean, they're not good.
Yeah, and then I also like 2 other bets a lot for that week. I like Vikings minus 3 against the Giants, so to win by 3. And then I also like Bengals minus 6.5 against Baltimore. So they just have to win against Baltimore by a touchdown. And then I also kind of like Tampa plus 3 against Dallas to lose by 3 against Dallas.
Lose
or
by
win.
3 or win. That's a tough one, man.
I guess my favorite's probably just Chargers money line.
Yeah, and I think your Bengals, they're going to beat up on the Ravens.
Yeah, that one's safe too. Those are my 2 favorites, the Bengals and Chargers.
I don't think Bengals, that's not a close game.
If Lamar's not playing,
it's a blowout.
Yeah, no, if Lamar's not playing, it's not a close game. And if Lamar's playing, I still think it's a blowout.
Me too. I mean, I think Joe Burrow, they're just going to...
Lamar hasn't played in months.
They're a bad playoff
Lamar
team.
hasn't been on the field in months, and they don't have one. They don't even have a third string worthy receiver on that roster. Yeah, I think Bengals minus 6.5 is the lock. I think you go Bengals minus 6.5 and Chargers money line because it's just because of the fact that the Chargers roster is so good. Yeah. The Jags aren't anything.
No, they're not.
They're nothing. They shouldn't even be in the playoffs.
I think the Chargers should crush the Jags. Yeah, agreed.
I think best case, Trevor will throw 3 touchdowns, but the Chargers should still have 30 something points on them.
Yeah.
They have the best offense and they have a defense with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they would lose.
I don't
against
either.
Trevor, against just Trevor, basically.
Right.
And Christian Kirk, and Travis Etienne.
All right. Well, hey, as always, to make a comment or suggestion, email us, profootballfastbreak@gmail.com. Hit our Twitter feed at PFBFastBreak. Thanks for listening. We have one ask. If you like what you've heard, tell a friend. You can text them, share it on your social media, hit our website, profootballfastbreak.com, where you'll find links to all of our shows. That's it for me. I'm Don saying peace out. He's Jacob. Peace. And Tim, if you didn't notice, had to step away. So he's not here to say peace. He would if he could, right?
Yep.
Thanks for listening to Pro Football Fast Break. Be here each week as the guys bring you a fresh take from the world of pro football. Until next time.
Now you can get generic Viagra shipped to your door for about $2 a pill. Get the same impact for less. Call Steelman Pills now and get the same blue pill for about $2 a pill. Call now for the 50-pill special and save even more. Plus, get a free bonus.
800-525-8891. 800-525-8891. That's 800-525-8891.
Everyone watches more than 5 hours of television. Really? And that's not counting mobile viewing. Get Dish TV and make that time worth it. With Dish, you can get hundreds of channels, access to all kinds of sports, tons of movies, premium channels, and more. Another thing that's really cool with Dish is you can watch most of your favorite shows on your mobile device anywhere for a lot less than cable. Yes, that's right. We are asking you to watch more TV and not less TV, but make it better television with Dish this time, anytime, anywhere. So So call right now and learn how easy it is to save on your television bill and get the most out of your TV viewing experience. Dial that number and I promise you we're here waiting for your call because we want to save you money and give you better television. We are Dish TV.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-413-7619. 800-413-7619. 800-413-7619. That's 800-413-7619.